Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, wherever you may be, and welcome to the next session here, the next PTM forum, Destination Recovery Insights from Southeast Asia, West Asia, and South Asia. Thank you so much for joining us for this session, and thank you very much for joining us for Virtual PATA Travel Mart 2021. Before we begin, of course, let me just introduce myself. My name is Paul Brangan. I'm Director of Communications and External Affairs at the Pacific Asia Travel Association, also known as PATA, and I will be your host for today. We have three great destinations we're going to hear from. We're going to hear an opportunity to hear some unique insights about what's happening in destination, some three very different destinations. But before we get to that, I do have a couple quick notes about how to use Zoom. I know many of you are familiar with how to use Zoom, but just as a refresher, as you see at the bottom of your Zoom browser, you'll see two functions, a chat and a Q&A. For the chat, feel free to say hello, where you're from. If you want to comment about any of the presentations, feel free to use the chat function. However, if you have any questions for our speakers, please drop them into the Q&A function as shown on the screen. Please don't submit any questions using the chat function. When I moderate the panel discussion, it's a little bit too much for me to chat, to look at both the chat and the Q&A. So any questions for any of our speakers, please use the Q&A function. And as always, please do keep any communications professional and cordial. So without further ado, let's jump right into this. I said we're going to hear from three very different destinations. And with that, we're going to first move to Azerbaijan. And with us from the Azerbaijan Tourism Board, please welcome the CEO, Mr. Florian Sengschmidt. Florian, hello.
Hi, Paul. Hello, everyone. A wonderful good morning from Baku, Azerbaijan, to you, Paul, to all PATA team, fellow co-speakers from Nepal and Thailand, and all delegates and participants of the PATA Travel Mart. Great meeting you all and telling you a little bit about what's happening in Azerbaijan and giving you a little bit of an outlook. Let me start sharing the screen already. And start with a little bit of an intro. What is the status quo? I think we would all agree that travel has changed significantly a year and a half ago, and with up and downs and opening and closings of businesses and borders. For now, we can announce that Azerbaijan is open to citizens and residents alike from 29 countries, and with a specific travel protocol. So basically everyone above the age of 18 requires a valid PCR test not older than 72 hours before departure of the origin towards Azerbaijan, and needs to present a vaccination passport or something alike from the local authorities where they issued this passport with full 2 vaccinations in place, while there is no difference. So we accept all vaccines rolled out worldwide. So this is for the time being the protocol. Also supporting safe tourism, people only fully vaccinated presenting this vaccination passport are allowed to enter restaurants, hotels, and similar establishments like shopping malls. So this is really to ensure the safety and health of locals and tourists alike. What is our approach in developing tourism over the past 1.5 years? We have agreed on the 4-phase recovery plan, and clearly also said that we are seeking on reinforcing all the unique features of Azerbaijan in order to ensure also a sustainable, responsible tourism. We say yes is not something new what we talk about, but we really digged into what are these unique features of the destination and how can we basically enforce, rebuild, and strengthen them also towards our fellow competitive destinations. So this means a lot of restoration and renovation works in our cultural and historic reserves. You see here a beautiful picture of the highest mountain village in Azerbaijan, and which was recently inscribed in the tentative list for World Heritage, because not only of its unique location, but also because of many unique features from shepherds and lifestyle and language, unique language there. Another point is continuous infrastructure support and development, especially also looking on the liberated territories of Karabakh, where is a new huge tourism potential opening for Azerbaijan. And the third and last not least point is really looking at sustainable and authentic tourism products and experiences. And what this is, I will show you in a bit. So, diversity of the country, winter is coming in soon. Leaving today also to a beautiful mountain resort in the north of Azerbaijan in the Great Caucasus Mountains, preparing for the winter season, getting some new attractions on, new hotel openings, new ski lifts. So the diversity of Azerbaijan really allows us to play on this full year tourism, and 9 out of 11 climate zones, from subtropical south with lemon trees and tea plantations to beautiful skiing destinations going up to 3,000 meters and higher. Ecotourism in that sense is a logic consequence. We have released in the past year new features on bird watching. Azerbaijan is one of the global hubs for bird watchers because of its location on the Caspian Sea and the Great Caucasus Mountain. This really forms a unique bottleneck. Another project currently in the rollout is a mud volcano visitor center. Azerbaijan houses 80% of the world's mud volcanoes, and these bubbling volcanoes, cold in a kind of moon-like landscape in the south of Baku, the capital, is what we're building now, an experience center where locals and tourists alike can really, in an edutainment format, not only look at the volcanoes, but also zip line over it, do some off-road squat driving, and really enjoy this unique landscape with the volcanoes. We have opened a lot of hiking trails, and working on a new few days trek through the Caucasus Mountains for those who enjoy to walk a bit, hike a bit longer. For the others, we have waymarked in an elaborated high-end quality that basically for easy and intermediary walks around the touristic hubs. So, and also in that sense, release GPS data, hiking maps. So hiking has become an important topic due to our strategic location here with the Caucasus Mountains. Another project we have launched in partnership with Slow Food, a global NGO based in Italy, which pays a lot of attention to good, clean and fair food, is developing a slow food travel destination, the first alike in the region and one of the first alike in the world. So together with these experts, we have worked on how basically tourists can become co-producers in experiencing unique food products, from dairy products, cheese making, to wine making, etc., and how tourists can be involved in that. So this is something really looking at immersive cultural and authentic experiences. Another, we have become member of the European Council's ceramic route with the cultural hub of Shekhi, which is a beautiful village in the northwest of Azerbaijan, and houses not only the Han Sarai, the Han Palace, where once the rulers of Azerbaijan were living, which is also a UNESCO World Heritage Site. and is famous for its ceramics and other heritage routes like Polish, German heritage in Azerbaijan, different villages. So really to address specific target audiences and target markets, also with specific niche cultural products. Naftalan, one of the very famous health destinations in Azerbaijan, famous for its crude naphthalene oil, which is especially helpful for diseases of skin and rheumatism alike. And we have basically introduced new cycling tracks, velo taxis. We have opened a naphthalene oil museum and proper wayfinding markets. So it's like basically also invested in very specific locations, tourist destinations to upgrade services and infrastructure alike. On the measures for safe traveling, I think we are all engaged in that for this past almost 2 years. In Azerbaijan, we have launched Sahman, safe and healthy, safety and health measures and norms, and this is basically launched in April 2020 already, and is audited and accredited by PwC, and this ensures that all our hotels, guides, transportation companies are following strict health protocols. But as I've mentioned already in the beginning, is for now only fully vaccinated people are allowed to enter basically F&B and shopping malls and hotels alike. The dynamic of vaccination is going very well. We have about 6.5 million doses of vaccines rolled out here. So around 3 million fully vaccinated people, but the daily vaccination rate, also with the new, only entering hotels, restaurants, cafes, etc. This has really also boosted and the speed of vaccine rollout. So that's the positive side of it, because I think we all agree that global travel will only happen once we are all in the same boat of safe and secure travel destinations. Opening borders itself is not the one and only solution. Digital transformation, very important. I think we were all really pushed into that. We have launched Azerbaijan 101. That's an e-learning platform for travel agents abroad, where we can engage with live events, fam trips, different learning courses. We've also launched the Tourism Training and Certification Center, which is providing local industry experts with really hands-on trainings. And this is running really very successfully, and also engaging with our dear colleagues who partly really have troubles to stay in the industry. So this was one of our main directions. Domestic campaign, Macera Yakhandade, which means the adventure is near, I think is another big step we've taken. So we've seen a great increase of travelers this year already. Azerbaijanis discovering their own country, and we are advancing that now in the next step with a domestic booking platform, also to integrate local guest houses and rural accommodation units, which need a better market access for their properties. And really, we need to link these regional suppliers better into these distribution chains. A digital trip planner, not to forget. What is next, and coming to the end, I think year of transition, we all basically think we've started a path of recovery here. We're fully rolling out marketing and communication campaigns where it allows us in terms of travel. This is for now mainly GCC. This is Russia is one of our main markets. But step by step, we hope with new borders opening and protocols in place that we can go ahead and with full speed also in our comms campaigns. Live events also as much as possible. Expo in Dubai, one of the big events coming up, Qatar travel market coming up. So reopening our representative offices abroad, and installing new ones. So this is all what we're currently also looking at. We're slowly starting our comms activities, which have been basically paused for almost a year and a half. So I hope I could give you a short insights on status quo, what's going on in Azerbaijan, where our focus is. Here you see a beautiful picture, the last picture of Shusha and Shusha Valley, the liberated territories of Karabakh, also hopefully soon open for everyone to visit and discover. Thank you very much for listening, and I'll be happy to join in Q&A session in a bit.
Thank you, Florian. Beautiful photos, really. I do want to visit Azerbaijan someday, but those are some beautiful photos. And once borders are open, I definitely have that on one of my list of places to visit. So thank you. If you have any questions for Florian, please do drop them in the Q&A. He'll be joining us a little bit later during the panel discussion. So we've heard a bit from Azerbaijan. So let me just share my screen. And we're going to start moving inward a bit. When I say inward towards Thailand, but we will move from West Asia to South Asia, and with us from the Nepal Tourism Board, please welcome their CEO. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Dhananjay Regmi. Dr. Regmi, hello.
Yeah, namaste, Paul. Namaste, everyone who are listening to us. And so thank you for this opportunity. I'm going to, where is my file? Sure.
Hi, Dr. Regmi. Okay, you have it?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Sorry, I think, is it okay technically?
Just swap your displays. We're seeing the notes. Yes, perfect. Looks great. You're ready to go.
Yes, sorry for the technical issue initially. So, well, I'm going to talk about what we are doing at present. First, I'm going to update the situation in Nepal, and then I will talk a little bit about what we are doing and ways forward. So, if you look at the vaccination data of Nepal, then so far we have, out of that, the recovery rate is almost 94.1%. And the fatality rate is only 1.5%. And the total deaths so far is 10,770 in Nepal. This is the latest report that we have. And if you compare with the number of countries, Nepal is in better position. If you look at this. And I would like to show here that Nepal have already given almost 18% people the 2 vaccination, and almost 18% got the first vaccination, and 16% population is fully vaccinated. So if we jointly look at that, then we have almost 30% of the population is vaccinated altogether. And the government has already managed almost 10 million doses for the public. And interestingly, if you look at the map in the left-hand side, then you will find that the death rate and the cases are very negligible in the high mountain area. as you know that Nepal lies within the 160-kilometer distance from north to south. The altitude ranges between 60 meters to the top of the world. So as we go to the north, the altitude rise, and those areas with the high elevation above 3,000 meters, they are less affected during the entire pandemic period. So those areas are more safe. And if you look at those mountain areas, and we found that almost 98% people are vaccinated in the major destination where people go, especially for trekking and climbing. So the Everest region, Annapurna region, and Langtang regions are fully vaccinated, and the gateway for these areas is mostly is located in Kathmandu. We call the international airport is here in Kathmandu. So in Kathmandu also, if you look at the people who are directly, indirectly involved in the tourism business, they are vaccinated. Almost 90% of the tourism employee and the entrepreneurs in Kathmandu and Pokhara, which is the second city from where the people go to the Annapurna area or the Malanslu area, so that is also vaccinated. So we are thinking about, we are in a good position to promote the high mountains at present. So if we look at the health and sanitation, it is given a top priority to restart, and all the health hygiene protocols were developed and implemented. And in between, we have given a number of trainings for the capacity building, and we motivate people to apply in their daily life as well as in their business houses. At the same time, we try to build up the confidence so that we can bring back the tourism in normal. So the V2V concept is also focused to restart the tourism. So we are giving vaccinated service providers and vaccinated peoples are encouraged to visit Nepal. At the same time, the service providers are also vaccinated. So at the same time, we, in the new rules, the government is coming up with that the people who are vaccinated, they don't have to do the quarantine. So if we look at in the Nepal, then in the airport, in the rental cars or the public transportations, hotels, tours, in all these circles where we do provide, we are more or less vaccinated. Some mountains are fully vaccinated, almost, and in the tourism, people who are involved in tourism, they are also vaccinated, which is good news. Though we have only 30% out of the total population is vaccinated, but people who are in the tourism industry, they are given a first priority. So we are very, very ready to lift the quarantine. So this is under the consideration in the parliament, and we hope in 1 or 2 days it will happen. And the major thing that we have focused at present is to give visa on arrival, which was stopped for the last 1.5 years. And secondly, the people with 2 vaccinations or the full vaccination dose, they don't have to stay in quarantine. They just can come to Nepal. They can get their RT-PCR test done in Nepal within whatever the time, because it takes around 7 to 8 hours in Nepal. So after that, they can travel anywhere, or they can stay one night and they can get their test, and they are free to go anywhere they want. And further,
Yes, just presenter view again. I think you're all set. If you put it back in presenter view. And swap screens, swap displays again. Get your back. You're on mute, Dr. Regmi, you're on mute. Unmute yourself, please.
Okay. So sorry, I think there is something going on, but it's not under my control, but whatever it is. So in between, we were really very much concerned about the tourism workforce who lost their jobs in between. So focusing on them, we come up with the livelihood recovery project, so that once the tourism revive, when the people start to come, we don't want to be in a situation where we don't have the people to serve them. So we come up with some employment opportunities for the people, and we are cleaning the trekking trails, we are cleaning the heritage sites, we are trying to do a lot of improvement in the existing infrastructures, and we are trying to beautifying the places during this COVID pandemic. At the same time, this is helping for the retention of the tourism workforce, which is in long run is going to support Nepal. So we are focusing on the sanitation, construction, management of the trekking trails during this pandemic period. So you can see some of the pictures here. So similarly, we are focusing on the domestic tourism, make a different committees, so that the number of people who are representing the different regional areas can participate, and they can come up with their, and they can promote in that particular area. At this time, we are here. So, well, in between, we are focusing on the number of the FEM trips, so that we can motivate these, especially the people in the media and the tourism entrepreneurs to travel around Nepal and to motivate other peoples for the promotion of the domestic tourism. At the same time, in between, we never thought about joining the cities within the Nepal through the airlines. So this is what we started to reconnect the number of cities within Nepal, which is really giving a very positive vibes, and that vibrate the industry. Within the Nepal also, there were people who don't want to travel by the cars, so they are using the airlines, and now this intercity connection is going to enhance the tourism, especially the domestic tourism, which is going to help especially for the sustainability of the tourism. So similarly, for the revival, we are thinking about the government come up with the concept of the Desh Darshan. Desh is a country, Darshan is a visit. So visit your own country, something like this program, and which is really working positively. Similarly, the government come up with the 10 days leave concept, paid leave. So this is also going to enhance the domestic tourism. This is what we believe. And we are now, this year, we are going to see how this mechanism work. If it is work perfectly, then if there are some weaknesses, we are going to change them and going to, make it more stronger in the days to come. Similarly, we are for the restart, revive, and rethink. We thought that whenever after the pandemic, after the lockdown, always we have to divide it into 3 phases. First phase is to give the message that tourism in Nepal is restarting. Second is especially for the gaining the confidence, and third is to get back the tourism on track. So this is what we come up with, and I think this is how the PATA is also doing, and this is what we have learned from them. So the major focus is on confidence gaining, digital marketing, post-COVID packages. We come up with the very special packages in between, and we come up with the discount and more motivation for the visit. And we are focusing on the nature-based tourism, and we are also focusing on the standardizing of the quality and or the uplifting the quality, the service qualities that we were providing before. So the total Nepal we have divided into, especially in the 3 ecological zones, and before we were focusing only on the mountains, especially on the adventure zone. But now we come up with the clear concept to develop the hill stations in the hill, and we are focusing people for more visit in the mid-hill area between 800 to 2000 meter, and this is really well accepted by the people, and especially this is the good market for the people who are coming, especially from the border areas of the India, where almost 35 crore population is living. So we are trying to give a completely different taste in 3 different geographical areas, and this is really going on the right direction. And so the lowland areas are mostly for the park and the water entertainment zone. We have a national park, we have a different type of the wildlife people can enjoy there. In mid hills, it is temperature wise throughout the year, it is the most mild temperature. You can enjoy even the winter and also the summer, and it is not that extreme climatic extreme weather zone. So it is like a mild weather, so people can enjoy that, and the adventure for the obviously which is known throughout the world, that is the adventure in the mountains. So this is what we come up with the clear idea. So the another thing is I have some pictures which are unexplored Nepal, which were not people were not visiting that much. But this time we realized that the global population is looking for the places like these, the more natural areas with less population. So we are thinking about reviving the camping tracks, all camping tracks, because we don't have the infrastructure hotels in these very wild areas which we are planning to open. So we are going to focus on the camping track, which was really very, very popular during 60s, 70s and 80s. So after that, the number of new lodges were built up in the mountains, and people stopped this camping. Camping track is now just stop, but we want to revive that so that people can have the same experience that people used to have 20-30 years back. So at the same time, there was some trail were lost, which were very much in operation before 20 years. So we try to reopen them. This is also what, and we are focusing more on the nature-based destination in this post-COVID context. So basically, we are, what I've told before is the mid hills. Mid hills you can see like this. From these mid hills, you can see the picture in the left-hand side that shows the clouds. You are above the cloud. All the low land area is under the fog, and you can see the high mountains up. So you can enjoy the both views. Like you are above the cloud, you can see the mountains, and also you can see the lowland areas covered with the clouds. So this is what. And obviously it is Nepal is an adventure paradise. We are focusing on this in the high mountains, trying to
Dr. Regmi, I think
is all season. They can visit all season, and we are focusing also the sun, sun, and the sea. So sea means here the freshwater beach. So this is all. Thank you very much, and very, very sorry for the interruption, technical problems in between.
So thank you very much, Dr. Regmi, and no problem. I think I just came on because I think you froze for a second, but thank you so much for presenting. You can stop sharing. If you have any questions for Dr. Regmi, please do drop them in the Q&A. He'll be back with us for the panel discussion, so he'll be able to answer any questions you might have regarding Nepal and their opening up. So, let me just bring up the next slide here. Okay. So we've heard from Nepal, and now we're going to bring it back to currently my hometown. So with that, from the Tourism Authority Thailand, we have the Deputy Governor for International Marketing, Europe, Africa, Middle East, and the Americas, Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Kun Siripakon Chu Samut. Kun Siripakon. สวัสดีครับ
Swadikap, Paul, and very good afternoon to all the fellow friends from Nepal and Azerbaijan and all the members of PATAS who joining the session today. Well, from today, I'm going to share the information regarding the Phuket Sandbox, which was just reopened since the 1st of July. So it's now past 2 months already. So what was happened on the island of Phuket in the past 2 months? So please allow me to share a few pages of the slides, please. So first of all, let me just tell you that at the moment, since the beginning of the COVID situations last year, Thailand is never closed the country. We open the countries and welcome everyone to visit Thailand on different protocol and different measures. For instance, at the moment, every travelers from around the world can be entered into Thailand with the protocol of the quarantine. We call it AQ, alternative quarantine. So that means every single traveler from around the world can enter to Thailand, but of course they have to undergo the quarantine system for 14 days and enjoy the hotel facilities. Even they are not fully vaccinated, that will be fine, no problem. But they have to stay in the designated hotel, we call the quarantine hotel, for 14 days. And after that, you're free to go throughout the countries. That's the first track of the unvaccinated traveler to visit Thailand. But since the 1st of July, ladies and gentlemen, we came up with the new initiative ideas to welcome the fully vaccinated travelers. And we need a model. We need a destination to reopen. The destination that can control the situation, both in terms of the safe and hygiene in the same destination. So that's why we came up with the idea of the island approach. The island approach, that means we open up the destination as a pilot destination to welcome the fully vaccinated tourists. So the fully vaccinated tourists, they have to undergo the, I might say, COE system. COE stands for Certificate of Entry. It's online system. Every traveler fully vaccinated need to apply and submit online with the COE system, with the loyal Thai embassies and loyal Thai consulate around the world. So that will take about 3 days in advance for approval. But at the same time, as you submit details to visit the sandbox of Thailand, you need to also submit the vaccine certifications. You need to do the pre-bookings and payments for the hotels, which is the Cha Plus Standard Hotel. What is SHA? Cha Plus Standard. It's quite similar to our friend from Azerbaijan just mentioned. It's like the safe and health measures standard in Azerbaijan, but right here in Thailand, we call SHA, Safety and Health Administrations, operating by the Ministry of Public Health, together with Minister of Tourism and Sport and all the private sectors and TAT, Tourism of Thailand as well. So that is the standard for the Cha Plus Hotel. At the moment, in Phuket alone, in only one island, we got more than 600 Cha Plus Hotel. And what is the plus meanings? The plus mean plus the vaccinated staff. Most of the Cha Plus Hotel, 600 approximately, they are fully vaccinated. Most of the staff in those properties, they are mostly 100% vaccinated. Some of them might 90 or 80%, at least 90% vaccinated staff in the Cha Plus Hotel. And what about the vaccination rollout on the island? In Phuket, we got 500,000 populations on the island. And at the moment, just right now today, for the first dose, is reached to 92% vaccinated on the island for the first dose, including at the moment is AstraZeneca is recognized by the local people that as well. If they take the first jab, they will be get herd immunity. They will get immunities easier and faster. So that's why the numbers of first jab is now 92%. What about the fully vaccinated populations on the island. Just a few minutes ago, I just got a report from my team that it reached numbers of 78%. It's 78% at the moment for the full vaccinated on the island. And we are talking about the booster dose very soon. But within this coming Q4, there will be another booster dose on the island and some other places of Thailand destination as well. So that's in terms of the public health concerns, the health and safety of both international travelers and also the local peoples. That's it quite, I might say it's quite on par between those coming fully vaccinated traveler and the local people. So next slide, please. So this is the result of first 2 months after we reopened Phuket Sandbox. Of course, from time to time, there will be more numbers of the new infections case on daily basis, because as everyone knowing that there will be no longer or no more zero infections on daily basis for every single destination at the moment and the coming year. I think I quite, I like it or not, I have to say that, there will be no zero incoming new case of the infections of COVID in coming very close futures. So how do we balance those situations with the local economy, in particular for the tourism industry? So this is the report of the first 2 months, 60 days reopen Phuket Sandbox. As you can see, the green color is the numbers of the total packs who enter into Phuket Sandbox for the first 60 days, 25,000, which generate more than $50 million direct generating into the local tourism industry at the moment. So that is to balance economic with the public health. And then the numbers of new detected case or the test positive for incoming. Apart from those 25,000, we detected 80 packs, 80 positive cases. And half of them, more than half of them, were detected at the airport on the first day they arrived. On the first day, the incoming tourists arrive at Phuket International Airport. They have to undergo all the measures. They have to do swab tests as well, and then take the sealed car transportation, the sealed transportation direct to the hotel and check in, and straight to the hotel, waiting for the result came out. If your result is negative, you're free to go with no quarantine on the islands for 14 days at least, and then you're free to go the other places or destination, apart from Phuket in Thailand. But if you found positive, if you detected under the insurance that the coverage, the fully coverage of insurance at the moment is $100,000 coverage for the insurance, you will then be transferred to the private hospital for very well treatment. So that is the procedures, the measures at the moment. So that means no risk spreading out. And then within those 80 packs positive case, it is confirmed by the local authorities, local public health authorities. It is confirmed that there are not things linked between the local people or the incoming fully vaccinated traveler in terms of the positive case findings. So there will be no linkage, there will be no transmit between the local people and the tourists. So that's me at the moment, the situation is, finger crossed, is still under well management. And what about the numbers of the local people? As you can see in yellow box, it's domestic. Since the beginning of this COVID, at the moment, the COVID situation, we found the overall number for domestic is over 3,000. But ladies and gentlemen, 3,000 compared to the population of more than 500,000 populations for a month, for the past month, at least 6 months in the past. So it's not that, high infection rates, to be honest. And then most of them are asymptomatic conditions. And most of them, apart from asymptomatics, they are very mild symptoms. They are not severe conditions because they are They are fully vaccinated for the local people as well. And the hospitalized facilities is still available at the moment. That is the public health point of view after 60 days. What about the economic or the tourism industry point of view? As you can see from the blue color box, in the past 2 months, we got more than 550,000 pax night booking the hotels. Within those 600 hotels, as I mentioned, the Chapas Hotel is more than 4,500 pax nights has been booked, and then is getting more and more in coming months. For instance, the September, by that time on 29th of August was 83,000 has been booked. But just right now, in today, this morning, the numbers of forward booking is increasing to more than 100,000 and 100,000 of the hotel book, for the forward bookings at the moment. So that's mean we got about 7,000 to 8,000 on daily basis, increasing numbers of the forward bookings at the moment. What about the airlines? At the moment, the only channel accessibility to the island is direct flight. There are 283 flights from international landed on the island, which is the numbers and the names of the airlines is showing on the below right as well. Thai Airways, Qatar Airways, Emirates, Etihad Airways, Air Al from Israel, the first time ever that they operate direct flight service from Tel Aviv to Phuket since the very beginning of the Phuket Sandbox. Singapore Airlines, Double Daily at the moment, Cathay Pacific, and then the private jet, 13 flights of private jets. They came from the Europeans, came from the neighboring countries, and came from for instance, this morning, there are another private jet landed on the island from Phnom Penh just this morning for the private jet. And there are more international flights to be landed into the island by this month, September. For instance, like the Hong Kong Express, the Scoot Air, the Gulf Air from Bahrain as well, and then some other flight from the short haul market will be landed into the island. So this is the overall for 60 days. Next slide, please. What about the top 10 traveler? I might take another maybe 2 or 3 minutes, for my presentations. So top 10 is number 1 is USA, United States of America. But this is according to the figures based on the nationalities, not the country of origin. So this is by nationalities, tourists who visit to Phuket Sandbox. It's USA, United Kingdom, Israel, France, Germany, UAE, Switzerland, Netherlands, Australia, and China. They are among the top 10. And what about the top 5 destinations in Thailand? After they complete 14-night stay, Bangkok is still number 1 because they stay longer. They stay more than a month in the destination at the moment. Numbers of visitors might not be a huge number, but they stay longer, as we can see. Surat Thani or Samui Tao Phangan is an island that we open as well. Chiang Mai up north, Prachuap Khiri Khan or Hua Hin, the best, one of the popular destinations. Chonburi is Pattaya as well. What the key finding from the past 2 months, average length of stay is about very good numbers, 11.11 days, less than 12 days, average length of stay. As I mentioned, if they stay less than 14 nights, they are, can take the direct flight back to their origin countries, direct flight from Phuket back to their hometown, to their countries with no conditions as well. So that's why average length of stay is less than 12 days at the moment. The booking in advance is 17 days only because of the measures of their origin countries, and then the measures of the destination. That's why the booking seems like really last minute more than the early bird booking as before. So maybe 1 or 2 last slide of my presentation, please. Next. This is what I mentioned, the hospitalized availabilities, the numbers of patient beds available in Phuket Island. As you can see, the color bar graph is represent, the red color is ICU beds, for instance. The yellow is in the medium condition, mid-severe, medium conditions. And the green is very mild symptoms. Hospital in the light green, this is asymptomatics of the positive case. if you look at the numbers on daily basis, average is about 30% in every kind of the hospitalized facilities. In particular, since the local people and the coming foreign tourists, they are fully vaccinated. So they are more available in terms of the rate or severe condition bed, still more available, and then very less in terms of the occupancy for those rate ICU beds. So next, please. I think this is the last of my slide, and then I will give the floor to the Q&A sessions to create more opportunities to the Phuket Sandbox and also some other destination. TAT, Tourism Market Thailand, has owned the digital platform called the TTVM, Thailand Tourism Virtual Market Platform. It's digital platform for both webinars and also the travel mart as well. The latest one that we just organized was on 31st of August, a few days ago. We created the Phuket Sandbox Virtual Mart in collaboration with PTA, Phuket Tourist Associations, and the private sectors, with numbers of 79 sellers joining and 63 buyers, majority from the long haul market from different countries were joining as well. So this is, I think I will take this at the last slide of my presentation. So thank you, and welcome to all every questions and any requirements or any suggestion, please. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Kun Sirupakon. I'd like to invite Dr. Regmi and Florian back. So we'll just go through some quick, we'll go through a little panel discussion here. And I said, just want to remind all our delegates, our attendees, if you have any questions for any of our speakers, please do drop them in the Q&A. I do see some questions already, but I'll start with a couple questions on my own. Sorry, I just took some notes while I was jotting this down here. So, well, is Dr. Regmi still here?
Yes, I am here.
Okay, just has his camera on. Okay, so just in regards to the I know Florian had said that you're open to 27 destinations. Kun Sirupakon, Phuket sort of open. In terms of the travelers you're sort of receiving now, have you seen any changes in travel behavior or travel segments? So like what types of travelers are coming, and what's their behavior been like? Are they looking for more health or wellness, trekking? Just give us a little information on what you're seeing right now from travelers. Florian?
Yes, I'm here. If you want me to start, thank you very much to dear colleagues. Very interesting to listening to Phuket Sandbox concept and especially the numbers. I think a very good pilot for all of us to see how in a difficult situation there are ways out in and a great concept. Congratulations on that, and also to the colleagues from my colleague from Nepal on basically looking at new tourism products, experiences in the Midlands and Lowlands. So I think this is our exciting developments. For us, the travel pattern, what we see for now in this short period of time from these 29 source markets is, yes, people are looking for more eco nature destinations, but this also is nothing surprising, because I think one of the key elements is not only opening the borders, but also how you return to your home destination. And I think this criteria on the return on the home destination is has to be seen in the combination with our border protocols here in Azerbaijan. So for the time being, this is easy for mainly for the GCC markets. These are the ones where we see really the demand has been increasing over the past month. The new travel protocols are in place, and the markets from UAE and Qatar and Bahrain, they are basically historically also over the past during summer months more eco experiences, nature, lakes, waterfalls, going out and discovering basically fresh air. But I see, yes, this is enforced. But again, I think one element is not only that we have open borders, also that we mix that see that in combination with what is the protocol on the return of travelers to their home destination.
And consider Pakon, what about Thailand? What are you seeing in terms of travel segments? Families, FITs, couples? Are they looking for, you know, the nature, or is it just they're going to sit at the resort and relax at the beach?
Sure. For Thailand, since we start from the 1st of July, and that was the season for summer school holidays. So that's why our first target priority is, of course, the family. And then we can prove by our own eyes that at the moment, if I was there since the opening, and then I have seen plenty of the family with kids, you know, traveling to Phuket Sandbox. They are, you know, the younger kids as well, under 6 years old, plenty of them. And at the moment, they still enjoy with their, you know, family school breaks. You know, that was, you know, our target since the reopen. And then the source market, of course, talking about the source market for Thailand at the moment is, as I mentioned, it depends on the government policy from each market. Most of the short haul market, unfortunately, even Thailand, they have still got the very strict policies in terms of their, you know, people travel outbound. When they're returning home, they have to do home quarantines for maximum 21 days in some particular countries. So that's why most of the source market at the moment is long haul, since they're quite more relaxing in terms of after they return home from their, you know, outbound holidays, they don't have to do quarantines, or maybe at least the home quarantine with the very easing restrictions. So that's why the source market is long haul. What about another segment? At the moment, we seeing the new behavior of the tourists. They are last minute booking for sure, as I mentioned, because they have to wait and see until the destinations is completely moving on, you know, on just like Phuket as well. They want to make sure that if we are still opening for their, you know, holidays, and then they have to wait until their own government policy allow them to travel outbound abroad as well. So I think the last minute, as you can see from the figures, the forward booking is average is only 60 to 17 days only, comparing with in the past historical data is about 2 months, 3 months bookings in advance, but there is no more at the moment. And then the couples is our target segment, because in particular the pensioners, the active senior, because they are the very first group who being vaccinated in every countries. And then they got the pensioners. So that means that there are no financial problem at the moment, and they might have more time to spend at the destination. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And Dr. Regmi, during the presentation, you had said something, and I'm not sure if I heard you correctly, but you said Nepal was going to open up in 1 or 2 days for quarantine travel, or
Yeah,
it's something that's something or something that's being discussed like currently.
Yeah, actually, we come up with because now the number of the cases have been significantly decreased, and number of people want to visit Nepal. There are hundreds of inquiries coming from different parts of the world, but everybody was more concerned about the quarantine policy. So as per the existing policy, we have a 10-day quarantine for the foreigners who visit Nepal. But we requested the government to no quarantine rule, to come up with the new no quarantine rule for the people who come with the full vaccination, or who got their 2 doses or the full vaccination. So doing so, what we are saying that once they come to Nepal, they just have to go with the RT-PCR test, and if it is negative, they can travel anywhere within the Nepal. So this is the one major thing. And second, Nepal government has stopped the on-arrival visa for the last 1.5 years. So this time we requested the government to start issuing the on-arrival visa if people come with to vaccination, with the vaccination certificate. So this is something going to be, passed by the parliament today or tomorrow sometime. So whenever it will, so very soon we are really going to be one of the easiest destination if you're really planning for your travels. This is what I want to say. I mean to say. Yeah.
Okay. So I want to make sure that I heard you correctly, because I was just surprised that it's good to hear that. I'm sure that would be very attractive to a lot of people interested in going to Nepal. I want to go back to Florian. When you said, so you're open to 29 destinations as long as they're fully vaccinated. When you get to Azerbaijan, though, is it, do you have to wear masks? I mean, is there some protocols in place you said like, okay, to go to a restaurant, you have to have fully vaccinated to take advantage of the activities. You have to show the passport. But once you're in destination and you have that, do you have to wear a mask? Is there social distancing guidelines in place? Or, as long as it's, as long as you're fully vaccinated, it's fine?
Absolutely. There is a social distancing guidelines in place. There is also a use of mask in indoor areas in place. But again, for the new regulation in place since 1st of September, a few days ago, only allows people who are fully vaccinated also to work in hotels and in restaurants and in shopping malls. So basically, it is to create basically a safe environment as much as possible, but still in the public spaces, in indoor public spaces, you have to wear a mask and you have to keep the safety protocols. And there is like from disinfection and so on. So all what we know and what we've learned over the past year and a half. But there is no quarantine for these 29 countries if people are fully vaccinated with 2 doses and present a PCR test not older than 72 hours before arrival.
And there's no other additional PCR tests. So after showing the first one, no additional PCR tests. Okay.
There is no additional PCR test.
Okay, all right. And what Asian are there 29 destinations? Are there any Asian destinations, or are they primarily European and GCC countries?
For now is primarily European and the Middle East. There are a few destinations also like Singapore from Asian destinations. But again, we see basically that as I mentioned before, one of the big elements is the return to home policy, and this is still an obstacle in obviously attracting tourism. So it's more for business activities. We see there is a slight signals of recovery, but I think for tourism we'll have to continue walking the path.
Yeah, and things are evolving every day. So it just sort of just waking up and seeing what's happening around the world, right, and happening in the news. Thailand, consider Prakon. You talked a lot about the Phuket sandbox, and I know you didn't touch about this, so I just wanted to just bring it up. Because I'm here, so I'll see the news. So there's also now the Samui Plus and 7+7 model. Has that been implemented now, or is that going to be implemented soon?
Okay, thank you, Khun Paul. For Thailand, we have the roadmap timeline to reopen the countries. We call city marketing reopening. So we open city by cities, and we got 2 different approach. The first approach we call the island approach. Island approach, that means Phuket Sandbox has reopened since the 1st of July. Samui Plus model, Samui Island has been reopened as well since the 15th of July. And then another destination to be extended is 7+7, as you just mentioned. But before that, let me just explain another approach. The second approach we call inland approach. Inland approach, whereas the destination is not an island locations. So we have to seal the route by car transportations and by some other transportation. That's another different story. So the first approach at the moment, we're more focusing on the island approach. So that's why 7+7 extension scheme has been implemented at the moment. Since the 16th of August last month, we reopened another destination, namely Krabi province and Phang Nga province, where the PP Island, Ngai and Laile Islands in Krabi province has been reopened as well. And then Koh Yao Noi Yao Yai Island from Phang Nga has been reopened. And Khao Rak area of the first inland approach has been reopened in Phang Nga province. What is the procedures? What is the protocol? Since according to the national policies at the moment, all the international traveler has to quarantine for 14 days. So that means the no quarantine in the sandbox still have to be 14 days. But in the future, if they're going to reducing the quarantine days to 7 days, there will be no quarantine in the sandbox for 7 days as well. But at the moment, it's 14 days. So that's why we create more varieties. We came up with the ideas of 7+7. What about we combine the destination? spend the first 7 nights, the first week in the Phuket sandbox for no quarantines. After that, the second weeks, you can just like island hopping, you can hop to another island of PP Island, Krabi, Samui, Tao Phangan for no quarantine as well. And then make more confidence to the local people on the second half of the destinations, because that's going to be another first time for them to reopen the destination, to reopen their hometown, to welcome international tourists. So at least they got more confidence that those fully vaccinated travelers spend first week and then do twice tests, on the island of Phuket. Then they extend that travel to their hometown island. So that is, the story behind to win-win situation. The confidence is the key success factor with the local people. Thanks.
Well, thank you very much. So I love that there's a strategy, there's a roadmap for Thailand. I know a lot of people are looking at Thailand. There's a lot of questions from our audience about that. But I want to go just back to Dr. Regmi. You had talked about health and hygiene protocols. And I know like Thailand has the SHA plus certifications. Does Nepal also give? Are you having any certifications in place for hotels and tour guides that follow these health and safety protocols, or is that something in development, or is that something that's or that's something for the Ministry of Health that will determine?
What we have done is in Nepal we have different associations. Like for the Han is for Hotel Association Nepal, for trekking TAN Trekking Association Nepal, something like that. So we have engaged all these association and their committee members on this, and we have requested them to, these associations to talk with all their members. And first we prepare the protocols. Like, there are the number of different activities are going on. For each activity, we have a different protocol. So we using them. Restaurant Association, we call Reban. They are just giving the protocol to their member. They are giving the trainings, and now everybody is following that. And on top of that, we are not giving a certificate, because giving a certificate means until we cannot give a proper training, we cannot go with the certification system at first. But instead, what we did, we make a committee in different regions, Tourism Revival Committee. We activated those associations and committees. First, we gave a training to the trainers, and those people who get training, they are giving more trainings to the different peoples in different parts. So doing so, we requested them to keep observe, to keep monitor and suggest them, instead of, it is a time of a pandemic, instead of giving them more pressure on, to follow something. We are thinking that it is better to aware the people more and make them more responsible on what they are doing, what sort of. So it is going really in a very good way. In the past, we used to give like this is a red or this is a green. So instead, I think the approach that we have taken this time is effectively working. And the people who are doing the same business, who have a companies nearby, they visit another one and they are also giving some sort of like the advices. So now the people, by themselves, they became more aware than before. So I think it is moving, but we don't have any certification system so far.
Thank you very much, Dr. Regmi. I want to get to these questions. There's a bunch of questions here, so I want to make sure we get to all of them as possible. Though most of them are for Considerpacon. So I'll start with the top one. So the question is the insurance for positive cases covered by Thailand government, or the premium is paid by the tourists?
So all the premium has to be paid by the tourists, and then to accommodate them under the consortium of Thailand insurance company, they team up together under the government agency looking after the TGIA, the Thai General Insurance, the association TGIA. They form the consortiums for 16 travel insurance in Thailand with the international standard, and so their service is 24/7 online service. It will be very simple, to purchase the premium of the insurance, and then the package is very, less in terms of the dollars, but the worry-free system. So it covers almost everything regarding the COVID situation at the moment, please.
I just want to follow up on that. I think I've heard this question before, but if you take your second test, your insurance then will cover your quarantine and hospital. But then but then your hotel bookings, that I assume then that would be refunded to you. Is that
Yep.
correct? Okay.
Yep, that's what we discussed at the earlier stage, that all the hoteliers need to be fully refunded to them. Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. And then second question here: which other destinations will open? I guess you already said this, but I guess just to answer this, which other destinations will open up after Phuket, and when will MICE events return? Incentive travel, corporate meetings, and team building.
Yeah, well, as I mentioned, it's not all the approach of island or inland approach, but depends on the vaccine rollout plan on each destination as well. If they reach the herd immunity, but more importantly, if the local people agree to open their hometown, their home, to welcome international tourists, so we will going to extend the destination. At the moment in the pipeline, it's likely to be up north destination like Chiang Mai destinations. Is likely to be the Pattaya in Chonburi as well, and some island in the eastern part of Thailand. Bangkok is in the list as well to reopen at the coming futures. Hua Hin in Prachuap if you could remember the name, that's all in the pipeline to reopen for the next phase, please.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to remind, of course, all attendees, if you have any questions for any of our speakers from Azerbaijan, Thailand, or Nepal, please do drop them in the Q&A. But I said I do want to try to get to as many questions as possible. It's a rare opportunity to get all these speakers here to answer any of your questions. So please do feel free to drop them in. As I said, most of the questions here are currently for Thailand. All eyes are on the sandbox. So the next question here is, can we know the tourists to Phuket? Are they by default buying a holiday package of 14 days? Or if they purchase, say, 14 days and they require quarantine, do they top up on the spot? Well, I guess that would answer, that would be something with the insurance, right? As we just answered before, is that correct?
That's right. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So to answer that question, yes. As we said before, if you're here 4 days, and you get tested, your insurance would cover the rest of that. But I guess the question, I guess, would be the ticket, your airline ticket, because you'd kind of have to stay here on quarantine for until you're better. So that would be the second part.
Yeah, but I think under the new normal situations and the new behavior of the tourists, I think every private sector has been aware of that. In particular, the tourism industry, the flexible in terms of the postponing or cancellations is much more in concern with all the private sector. I think they are all aware of that, and the airlines might allow them to change the date of travel, to returning home if they found positive for COVID test. I do believe that will be handled by the airlines.
Yeah. So Florian is nodding his head. So I mean, on your end, do travel? You said travelers just they can come in. They don't need insurance. If they get, they don't need insurance. I guess they're not going to get tested once they're in destination as well. So. Is that a requirement of going to Azerbaijan or no? Travel insurance for COVID?
No, it's not mandatory, but it's part of, I think, travel insurance from most destinations is part of most travel packages, and nowadays mandatory travel insurances are not really don't solve a lot unless you have basically an incoming insurance, which could be added on top once entering the destination. But so far, I mean, since the border openings, we had no case on any traveler who basically was hospitalized. But even though the treatment here then is handled by the government, so basically you'd be treated and then basically sent off home again.
Yeah, I know. I said you a lot of focus of your travelers now is the GCC countries. I know Etihad also provides that as part of the air ticket, right? That you can top off and buy that insurance as part of your ticket. So, all right. This is a very interesting question. So this is for all of you. A bit. So the question there is, what makes your destination so attractive in a post-COVID industry? So I just rephrase the question: why choose your destination in a post-COVID world? I'll start with who's ready to start. I might need some time to think about it, but anybody willing to start first?
Well, I can
Dr.
go.
Remy.
Yeah. So sometimes if you don't have much developed areas, sometimes that become an opportunity. So this time, because Nepal, we have almost the 17% land up there in the mountain, in the high mountain, which was because of the rugged topography and the high altitude, was not used much. Only 4 valleys were open, whereas we have other hundreds of such valleys are still available there, which were not open. So I think this is the right time, and the people are looking for this type of destination. This is the one major attraction. And another was the mid hills that we have never focused on, where we have almost 50% land there, and people are also living, but it's also not much populated. So I think this nature-based tourism, which the people are talking in each and every conference or wherever I'm talking around, most of the people are saying the days are coming for the natural areas. So I think Nepal, that almost like, and in Nepal, additionally, we have almost 25% land is under the conservation area or the protected areas, under the national parks and so on. So we have a big area from the beginning. Nepal was focusing on that. And then we have a big mountain areas are also there, like not populated. But there are the number of things that people love nowadays. What people are looking for is they want to make their health, because we are in our house for the last 1.5 years. We are looking for the areas where we are not just want to enjoy, but we want to work. We want to, bring back our whole body, muscles, everything on a track. We need a meditation. We need a kind of a wellness tourism, and all these possibilities are there in the mountains. Like if you don't know how to do yoga, just keep walking in the nature. Do a camping, enjoy the fresh air, and this rejuvenate yourself. I think for all these activities, Nepal can be the one of the strongest, destination. So I think the nature and the less crowded places are going to be the major attraction of the Nepal in the days to come.
All right. Well, thank you very much for that answer. Florian, you want to go next?
Yeah, I think, thank you, Paul. I think one topic would be how advanced is the destination in terms, how safe is the destination? I think this will be definitely a criteria in terms of protocols. What is the vaccination rate of the population? So I think this is all of us looking at when traveling now. What are the protocols in place? I think this Azerbaijan will be and is already taking a lead because of very strict protocols for locals alike. So I think that will be.
Oh, I think he froze. Oh, Florian. Oh, well, we'll come back to Florian. Little technical problems here. Apologies for that. So I'll consider Pakon. You can go and oh, Florian. Sorry, Florian, you froze there. Hello.
Yes,
Florian?
I'm back. Yes.
You froze. You froze. If you want to start again, I think you froze just in the very beginning. So if you want to just restart.
Yeah, I think one of the very short, one of the underlying arguments.
Oh, he's having some technical difficulty. Oh. This will happen with virtual.
How safe is the destination in terms of? Did I?
Yes, you're freezing a bit. Maybe turn off your video. I think that might help.
Is it better? Is it better now?
Yes, I can hear you now. I can hear you now.
I can hear you as well. Okay. So I think one of the underlying arguments will be how safe is the destination in terms of vaccination rate of the population, and what are the protocols in place for locals, restaurants, hotels alike. Can you hear me?
Yep, hear you.
Perfect. I think, and And secondly, will be what is the destination, the features of a destination. And I think Azerbaijan has been on the market now for some years and getting more attention over the past 3 years. So I think with overall 3.2 million visitors we had before COVID. So it's still a destination which provides a lot of space, a lot of like places to discover for tourists. So I think the experience and the excitement factor of discovering a new destination paired with how safe a travel destination is will definitely place us among top destinations in a regional context for the time being. I think the more time passes, the further the range, the circle, this radius of source markets will go. Long haul will take a bit longer, obviously, than near neighboring and regional markets.
Well, thank you very much. Consider Pakan.
Yes, okay, thank you, Paul. I think will be my last answer because I have to jump to another session at 4, so sorry about that.
Oh, no
for Thailand, I think it's also about the demand and supply and the game changer. For the supply side, for instance, Phuket itself, they are heavily rely on the international tourists. I think more than 90% are rely on, in terms of economic, rely on the international tourists to visit to the island. So in the past, so that is the supply side. And then the supply side now, I mean, the Phuket itself as well, at the moment, the population has been vaccinated for 92% for the first dose. And then the second, I mean, fully vaccinated has been reached number of 28%. So they're ready. They're ready now to welcome. And then in terms of the game changer, vaccine is a game changer, as everyone knows that. Vaccine, fully vaccinated local people, fully vaccinated travelers. So, and what about after the game changer? What about the demand side? I think everyone, including myself, to be honest, my feeling was we are desperately needed to travel at the moment. After 2 years quarantine, after staying home for almost 2 years at the moment, once we fully vaccinated, the destination is safe, we are safe. So I think this kind of the desperate need to travel freely. So I think that's the key. And then just to let you know that for Thailand reopen policy, we never compromise with anyone's safety. So safety is still the key moving forward for Thailand destination. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Consider Pakan. With that, I know both yourself and Florian do have to head off, and so I will end this now. Thank you so much to Consider Pakan, Florian, and Dr. Regmi. Thank you for taking the time for joining us this afternoon or morning or evening, wherever it may be. If you have any more questions regarding any of their destinations, all of them have a virtual booth, so you can go there, talk to the representatives, find out more about the Phuket Sandbox, about Azerbaijan, about Nepal, which will, according to Dr. Regmi, in the next 2 days should be opening up to quarantine-free travel. So please do visit their booths, and then you can find more information about, for TAT, I said he has their Phuket virtual travel mart soon, so you can find out more information there. I said visit their booth today. I said there's 2 more days also, Saturday and Sunday, so there's also walk-in. You can still walk in and still talk to a representative from any of their organizations. So thank you once again. Thank you so much, and I'll let you guys all take care and go on with the rest of your day. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
everyone. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so as they all leave, I'm going to just do a quick wrap up. And once again, honestly, I have to say thank you so much to Florian, Dr. Regmi, and Consider Pakan for spending the past hour and a half with us. It's a very unique opportunity. They're all different destinations, so really they're not really competing with each other. They all have something different to offer to any traveler. So it's not a competition, especially with these 3 destinations. So I just want to refer that to that last question that we saw there. But yes, all of them have something different to offer. I do check them out, all their virtual booths out, find out more information about them and about what they're doing, their new offerings, and talk to a representative there at the virtual booth. So as we wrap off, I thanked all the speakers. I want to thank all of you for joining us this afternoon and joining us for the virtual PATA Travel Mart 2021. As I said, today is not the last session. We have 2 more days, and I'm going to go through the rest of the schedule with you just right now. So up next at 5:30, we have a game and video destination experience. That's at 5:30 GMT plus 8. I would say that you might have seen the program. There was supposed to be a networking session that is happening after this session. Unfortunately, all the speakers had other business they had to attend to, so they were not able to attend that session. It was a last-minute change, but of course, this happens with any organization. So all of them had to, you know, Consider Pecon had another meeting to go to. Florian had to travel to another destination. So they weren't able to join us. So we had to remove that from the schedule. So the next thing will be at 5:30. That's GMT plus 8. That's the game and video destination experience. As I said, we have later this evening, you can do walk-in meetings for buyers, trade visitors, and media. As you can see from the screen, very easy to do a walk-in meeting. You just click on the button as shown on your screen, and you can walk into any of the booths and ask them any questions you want about their product offerings. As I said, we have 2 more days of the events. So it's opportunities for trade visitors to visit any of the booths. So, you know, you don't have to rush to go visit every single seller. We have both Saturday and Sunday to do that. Tomorrow, we do have another quiz. And also on Sunday, we have another, this is not a quiz, this is a bingo game. And so there's prizes for all of our games and bingos that are coming up. So please do join them. And then on Sunday at 5 p.m., we will hear back with myself, and we'll be doing closing remarks from the PATA CEO and Lershan. So please do mark your calendar accordingly. I just want to make you aware of some of our upcoming events. Just next week on September 8th, we will have the PATA Gold Awards, and this is sponsored by our good friends at the Macau Government Tourism Office, and that is at 12:30 GMT plus 8. Hopefully I'm not wrong. There's so many things sometimes in my head, so I might have gotten it wrong, but yes, it is next week. So please do register for that. We will be announcing all the winners live. We'll be giving out 18 gold awards and 2 grand title winners. So join us next week and find out who's winning some gold awards. We also have our virtual Rural Tourism and Sustainable Development Conference that's happening later this month. It's on September 25th from 3 to 6 p.m. GMT, and it's hosted by our good friends at Huzhou. We also later this year have our virtual PATA Wellness and Luxury Travel Conference in March, and that is currently hosted by our good friends at the Tourism Authority of Thailand. This is from October 20th to the 22nd. It is a one-day conference and also a trade show. So if you are in the wellness and luxury space, either as a buyer and seller, please do email us or register today for the event. And then later on in the year, in November, we have our Destination Marketing Forum from November 24th to the 26th. More information about that event will be released soon, but I just wanted to make you aware of that. And with that, that is the end of the session. Once again, thank you to all our speakers. Thank you to our host, the Lershan Cultural Radio and Television Bureau, our official event partner, the Sichuan International Travel Expo, our official virtual platform partner, Dragon Trail International, our contributing partners, Tide Square Arm Consultants, and Luxury and Boutique and Hotels and Destinations. If you have any questions about today's session, about any of the sessions that passed, or any questions about PATA in general, feel free to email me. My email is paul@pata.org. So feel free to get in contact with me if you have any questions, I said, whatsoever. If you want more information about any of those events that I talked about just before, feel free to visit our website as well, www.pata.org. And with that, that is the end of today's session. Thank you so much to, as always, thank you so much to our PATA members, our partners, our life members, our chapter members. Without your continued support, none of this would be possible. Thank you again for all of you for joining us today and for joining us for PATA Travel Mart 2021. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I will see you again soon.